How would you describe your emotions about all the attention that you've gotten?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point I'm pretty used to it, and I always tell people like I wouldn't want it any other way. Like I'm happy to do media before every single game, especially when we're on the road. And there's a lot of people that maybe this is their first time getting to see us play, or all of you maybe the first time. Obviously, it's my first time in San Francisco, so I try to look at it in the best possible manner that I can, and it's still fun for me. And there's a lot of people that would want to be in my shoes and have those types of opportunities. And I think it's always good to remind yourself like there's always eyes on you. And I think my mom has always reminded me that ever since I was a young kid too. Like, even when you're a high school basketball player, there's young girls looking up to you and wanting to be like you. And you got to try to set the best example you can 100% of the time. And, no one's going to be perfect by any means. But I think just reminding myself of that, how grateful I am to be in this position. And, it is my responsibility to try to help grow this game and do it to the best of my ability. And, there's certainly days that are harder than others, but, at the end of the day, I just remind myself I'm very lucky and fortunate.
Hi, Caitlin, right in front. Two questions for you. Kendra Andrews, ESPN. You play in an arena that is sold out every single night, shares a home with an NBA team, but it brings just as much energy. From what either you've seen on social media, TV, just what are your impressions of what the Valkyries have been able to establish here in the Bay Area so quickly? Then I like the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been incredible. It's just really good for not only women's basketball, but women's sports and the way they've been able to support it. And obviously, one of my good friends plays here too, so I watch quite a few of their games, most that I can. It's sometimes a little too late for me. I only catch sometimes just the first half, but it's great to see. And I think the thing that's very evident is these people aren't just showing up to like sit in the seat and like check a box of like being here. They really seem like they're here to support and cheer and appreciate women's basketball. And I think that's like the coolest thing is, they love it and they want to be a part of it, and they want to, kind of be the sixth player for this team to help them win. And I feel like they have done that to this point. And it's just been really cool to see. And obviously as a player, you really do appreciate that.
And I saw you at shoot-around today when you took that last three, you yelled out Curry. I mean, do you think you're going to get a little friendly shooter's bounce with these rims, knowing the history of the players that they have had play here?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Obviously, my first time here, I told Kate this after shoot-around. I was like, this arena is absolutely incredible. So I'm excited to play here. It's my first time. And I grew up watching Steph. Like, to me, he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But I was also a kid that grew up getting to watch him, and I think he's really changed the way basketball is being played. Maybe at times, me and him both, like, kids shouldn't always just go and chuck a bunch of threes, but that's what makes the game so exciting and what he's been able to do throughout his career. He's really changed basketball, and, everybody that's ever met him knows how good of a person he is, too. So it's cool to be here. Like, he's somebody I certainly idolize.
Hey, Caitlin, Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. Obviously, a friend of yours has a pretty big game tonight, too, and I'm just wondering, how do you keep track of what's going on in that game while you have your own game to deal with?
Oh, well, it's probably starting right about now, I'm assuming. Honestly, I probably would check the score a few times when I go on my phone before the game starts, but other than that, I'm probably not going to know the final score until after our game. So I wish it didn't fall on the same night as us, but I mean, I feel good about the Pacers here in Game 6. I think they're going to push it to a Game 7. I think all basketball fans would appreciate a Game 7 in OKC, but you got to give OKC credit too. I think they've had a tremendous series and honestly a tremendous season as well.
Last season, we saw your on-court chemistry develop with Aaliyah Boston and your friendship. How has that evolved over this season and improved?
Yeah, I mean, I think AB has taken quite a few steps forward. I think she's been absolutely tremendous through the first part of this year. I think what's not talked about enough is how often she puts up, she's all across the box score. You look at the box score, she's got 15 points, she's got 5 assists, she's got 8 rebounds. Like, she affects the game in so many ways. She has a couple blocks. Like, she just does so many different things for this team, and people don't realize how good of a passer she is. I think she really facilitates our offense at times really, really well. She'll get the ball at the top of the key, and she's making decisions from there at times. And I think it's, kind of been different and an adjustment for her this year, just not playing so much truly on the block. Like, she really is playing on the perimeter and trying to play a 5-out offense the best we can. So, she's not one that's always talked about enough in my eyes. I think she's tremendous, and she's had an amazing start to the season. So, really fortunate to be able to play with her.
Mia Wachtel with the San Francisco Chronicle. Mabrey's foul against you was upgraded to a flagrant 2. How are you feeling about that?
You know, I think Steph talked about it plenty after the last game, and it is what it is. You move on, and my focus is just on tonight. Thanks.
Caitlin, Michelle Smith from The Next. 2 questions. Have you ever been to San Francisco before?
This is actually my first time.
Did you get to do anything?
I went to dinner with Kate last night, so we went to Che Fico. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so I apologize, but it was really good. I wish I had more time here. It's beautiful. The weather's nice. I didn't realize how windy it was going to be, but yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's going to be fun to keep coming back here for years to come.
Second question is about Lexi Hall. She's going to get a good hometown cheer
Yeah.
here tonight. I know you and Lexi are close friends. What does Lexi bring as a teammate for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the game is completely different when Lexi's on the floor. Her energy, her tenacity, the way she affects the game, whether she's scoring or whether she's not, like she's our best defensive player. I think she's one of the best defensive players in the league. She's active, she's aggressive, and also she shoots the ball really well over the course of the last 2 seasons. She's made a lot of threes for us, and you know, she's shooting it close to 60%, which is really unheard of in all of basketball. You don't see that, so yeah, I'm just really proud of her. She always just puts her head down and keeps working. And in my eyes, I think she's probably the top player in this league for most improved. I think she's improved in every single statistical category, and just really happy for her and lucky to have a teammate like her, honestly.
Hi, Caitlin. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Along the lines of Steph, he is always saying that, you know, facing these double teams, facing these physical defenders 24/7 comes with the territory a little bit, and he embraces it, and it's
For sure.
probably not always fun. But I mean, similar. How do you handle it night after night? Taking hits, physical play, things that it comes with the territory.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think Steph is somebody I've watched and, you know, watched a lot of film. I try to watch as many Warriors games as I can just because I love the way he plays, and also there's so much I can learn from him. But I think when you like look at Steph, and I think something I remember from the first time I actually watched him in person is like how strong he is physically. Like he's built. He really is. And I think that also kind of showed me going into year 2 is like how much time I really needed to put into the weight room to be able to play at this level of physicality and also like not get tired through the course of a game. And I think, you know, our coaching staff has done a good job of, you know, putting me in positions that maybe I'm off the ball a little bit more. Like you'll see that with Steph too, is, you know, he'll sometimes bring the ball up. A lot of the times he'll be off the ball getting screens, things like that. But also Steph's probably one of the best screeners in the entire NBA. He screens really, really well, and that gets his teammates open or that gets him open. Defenses kind of have to pick and choose, and I think that's an area where I can continue to grow. So, you know, I think there's a lot I can learn from him, but like you said, I think he just embraces it, and that's really the only thing you can do is just continue to embrace it and step up to the challenge, really.